Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Rhyme of the Times for the week ending the 13th of January 2024. Britain shares the despair of the postmasters and mistresses nightmare caused by software that needed repair. But where was the corporate care? It just wasn't there. That's the truth, fair and square. In Yemen, trouble flares as the Houthis are warned, beware. Spare a prayer for a pair of debonair sportsmen with rare flair and an invincible air. South Africa ensnares Israel in a legal affair, but they don't seem scared. Mr. Bates versus the Post Office, an ITV drama, has finally brought a chance of collective karma for postmasters and mistresses who've been through hell with a story no one wanted to hear them tell. For years they'd lived a dark existence, haunted by the post office insistence that they were incompetent, stupid and alone whenever they called the helpline phone. Because the deficit the computer threw up each day, the postmaster or mistress could not make go away. And it wasn't occasional. It was a trend that began a nightmare that would not end. A nightmare of sleepless nights driven round the bend, trying to solve something they could not comprehend. And with IT support they found no friend, no comfort or consolation from the messages they'd send. But the hole in the accounts they still had to mend, so they'd use their own money to fix the net spend. And when on their own cash they could no more depend, they remortgaged and got friends and family to lend, until there was no more lifeline to extend, and then from head office the stormtroopers would descend on a mission to have livelihoods upended with those fatal words, "You are now suspended." But the story's not over. Years of anguish are appended. When you don't know what you've done, how can you defend it? Fujitsu brought ruin, turned good names into mud. Like the post office, their stream of lies became a flood. By selling people a dream with a bug-riddled dud, some might say their hands are covered with blood, 'cause some post office owners chose suicide after trying every solution. Oh, how they tried. Their world closed in, there was nowhere to hide, swamped by a mendacious executive tide. And the trail of executives goes right to the top. Several ministers could have had this whole thing stopped. But it took 4 TV shows at the start of the year to get Parliament arses fully into gear. On Wednesday they proposed fast-track legislation to quash all convictions to allow compensation. All postmasters and mistresses to be exonerated of charges of theft and fraud vindicated. With the flick of a wrist, the government switched them in the public's eye from fraudster to victim. The Houthis, exercised by Israel-Gaza war, have attacked ships in the Red Sea for 2 months or more. The Islamic group in Yemen, an anti-Western paradigm, have recently upped the ante on all things maritime. So, on Friday, Britain and America fought back with a surgical and specific military attack to degrade the Houthis' ability to sustain their commercial shipping interference campaign. The Houthis say we'll have a heavy price to pay, although shoppers in the UK will soon feel that anyway. Many ships have been taking a massive rerouting round the Cape of Good Hope to avoid the Houthi shooting, causing spiralling prices of imported cargo. on vessels that now have too far to go. But the crushing of Gaza will go on unabated until Israel feels Hamas is annihilated. So South Africa on Thursday and Friday took a case against Israel to the ICJ. Genocide of Palestinians is their claim, but still Israel pursues its military aim. She was the first national woman DJ in the UK, but on Thursday at 83 she passed away by being the first Radio 1 voice that was female, and Nightingale for women blazed a very bright trail. Monday was a shocking and dark day for sport, with the deaths of two legendary players to report. On Sunday it was Franz Beckenbauer, nicknamed the Kaiser. To many soccer strikers he was more like a miser. Impossible to get any change out of him. The German captain oozed class right to the brim. Moved with the elegance of a Mercedes-Benz, broke new ground by dribbling out of defence. Won the World Cup as player in 74. In 1990 as manager he won it once more. Yes, with and without boots, with style and pride, he won the World Cup for his own national side. Just 3 men in history have achieved such a feat. Beckenbauer was sheer class from his head to his feet. After 78 years, life's final whistle has blown for one of the greatest footballers ever known. JPR Williams died on Monday, aged 74, a legend of Welsh rugby, but so much more. A fullback as tough as nails, robust as iron, earned 55 Welsh caps and 8 for the Lions. A career in tennis he'd decided to eschew because he wanted an amateur sport to pursue. Union back then was still the unpaid rugby version, and he wanted to be an orthopaedic surgeon. By choosing Union he could maintain 2 careers. It's amazing what they could do back in those years. With bushy sideburns and socks rolled down, he won 3 Grand Slams and 6 Triple Crowns. But a stat for which he is probably most famed, he never lost against England in 11 games. The 70s for Welsh rugby were halcyon days, and JPR was its epitome in so many ways. But even back in the 70s, many would say he seemed to belong to a bygone day, with his Dickensian looks and fearless play.